This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be, and welcome along to Formula Virtual Racing, ladies and gentlemen. We are here for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix live from the Jeddah Corniche. And well, we start this evening with an interesting state of affairs due to Lewis McWilliam dropping out of the race 7 minutes after it was supposed to have started. Luke Davies is a Formula Virtual Racing World Drivers Champion. That's it, it's done. We may as well call this all off because we have a champion, ladies and gentlemen, but it is done and dusted. Luke is World Champion for season number 10. We'll still give him the big hurrah come the end of this evening, because it's what he deserves, having an absolute disgraceful act from his championship rival to completely minimise all sort of hype around winning your world championship is not what he deserves. He deserves the big hurrah from all, and yeah, it's a valiant effort from Luke and a fantastic season. Unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen, attendance is absolute dire here this evening, so I can only apologise for that. We have 13 drivers. All of them are going to get an absolute excellent bit of screen time, and hopefully we can have a good race here in Saudi Arabia. It should be a good one, nevertheless, ladies and gentlemen. Luke Davies will be looking at a 4th win to his season. That would be the most amount of wins he's ever taken in a Formula Virtual Racing season. But it's a real opportunity this evening for someone other than Luke and Avesta to take a race win, because only Luke, Avesta and Leroy have won races this season, and we have 13 drivers, 3 of them being Luke, Leroy and Avesta. Leroy has qualifying suspension as well, though, so we have a really good opportunity for somebody else other than those 3, I should say, to take a race win here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But Luke Davies heading for sector number 1 here with his ferocious Jeddah Corniche circuit, 79% of it at full throttle. The lap record just belongs to Lewis Hamilton, of course, who set it in his 2021 Mercedes. But in towards this section, then it's a right and then a quick flick to the left, I should say, up towards the hairpin of turn number 13. The track kind of goes up and back down on itself, but the second and third sectors being much more high speed compared to that first sector. So very good first sector from Luke. He is really quick around this circuit coming into the build-up of this race. He's put his work in because he did think he'd have to beat Lewis McWilliam on the track if he wanted to try win his driver's title. Some could say for Luke Davies. No, I'm joking. It's not, obviously. This is not luck from Luke. This is a deserved title, and he has mentally destroyed multiple drivers this season by simply existing, and it goes to show. So what an effort from Luke. If you can make a championship rival bring home all his equipment on a 3-hour plus train ride and then get him to back out of the race 7 minutes after it starts, you've probably done something right. So what an effort by Luke, as here he comes towards the start finish line. Andrew Davis goes quickest, 1:28.5. Let's see, can Luke smash that? Absolutely can. Does it by 2 seconds, easy as you like. Next up to cross the start finish line, it's going to be Timden Higher. He's quite nifty around these sort of street circuits, so let's see what he can do. He's 2.2 seconds off the pace, maybe not as nifty as first assumed. Here comes Enzo King. Of course, real opportunity here for Enzo this evening to try and get something on the board. McLaren will pretty much be Constructors' champions after this evening as well, ladies and gentlemen. But unfortunately, that's a little bit too much maths for me to handle on my own. But heading for the final corner now as well, we have a return from Santiago Arujo. Oh, no, we don't. He's left the session. Okay, we did have a brief return from Santiago as we're looking at Morris Tumer. He gets right up and close towards the wall. Vestigo Bardi is invalidated in the first sector. Here comes Brady Pollock. He seems to like these street circuits. He reappeared at Monaco, and now he's reappeared here at Saudi Arabia. Down towards the first call, or down towards the start-finish line, I should say. Here comes Brady. That's going to be front row of the grid. 1.3 seconds off. Well, maybe even if Lewis was here, Luke seems to be having everything pretty much his own way. That McLaren just looks very comfortable around this circuit all of a sudden. There's no pressure on him. It's probably the first race this season he can 100% enjoy. Here comes Matthew Stotts then, 32.5 in the first sector. Let's ride on board for a little bit. Decent through there from the Williams, as we were meant to have 2 Williamses this evening, as Kyle Albert wanted to go in. Oh no, he wanted to go in the Ferrari, apologies. Somebody asked could they go in the Williams ahead of this race, but Matthew Stotts actually wasn't even meant to be here, so big thanks to Matthew for showing up. You shouldn't have to thank drivers for showing up in league racing because it's a commitment they make, but unfortunately you do. But here comes Matthew Stotts down towards the turn 27 hairpin. Most corners in a Formula 1 circuit, although if you do follow the sport you can kind of predict that. Oh, he almost hockeys into that Aramco sponsorship wall. Here comes Stotts towards the start finish line. Can it challenge Davies? No, way off that. He's going to be 4th, 1.4 seconds off pole position. Morris Stumer, apologies, completely missed that one. The German goes to 2nd. What a result it would be for AlphaTauri if they could get another race win. They've been the worst team this season, probably by far, in terms of points, but they could end the season with more race wins than Aston Martin, who were one of the favourites for the Constructors' standings heading into the season, although Leroy has been kind of fighting on his own after Thomas just bowed out of proceedings at that team. Unfortunately, poor Leroy has kind of just been left stranded, and he hasn't really been able to do much. Matthew Stott seems very quick in that first sector, but it seems like the rest of the lap just falls away from him. He's not going to improve on this one either, because he does have no battery. Nils Hartl going slow on the edge of the pit lane. Here comes Colin Dulger, though. Again, will be a fabulous race for him if he could take a podium or maybe even a race win. Wonder if McLaren are coming home 1-2. Now that Luke has wrapped up the title, would he pull over to the left hand or right hand side and let Candolga have a race with? I don't think he would, but I think that would be quite cool if he did. In towards turn number 1 and 2. Second gear here for Candolga, looking to just extend that corner as much as he can and put foot to the floor. You may see it's an all blackout helmet for Candolga this evening. A fitting tribute to what is happening in the world at the moment. We're not going to talk about it too much because at the end of the day this is a league racing broadcast and it would be probably a very unfair thing for me to comment on. But Candolga validates through sector 1. Awful unfortunate there for him. We have a couple more coming out on outlaps, ladies and gentlemen. We have 5 cars there on outlaps, as well as Brady Pollock making his way into the pit lane. Enzo King on... Oh, actually, not Enzo King, apologies. Andrew Davis there actually has picked up a bit of front wing damage. So that's an end plate gone for Andrew Davis. He's going to have to come back into the pit lane and go round again, unfortunately. But we will wait and see what happens here. Brady Pollock is starting another lap. It seems like he's going for the Tyler Pastilli qualifying program, as it's self-dubbed around here. He's going for many laps on your first set of softs, come back into the pit lane and go again. Brady finding some success in British regional karting as well, so that's another thing to keep an eye on. He's doing quite well there as well, so fair play to Brady, putting up some good performances in a go-kart. Let's see, can he put up some good performances in a Formula 1 car this evening. That is Luke Davies, who he is overtaking, your champion-elect. I say your champion-elect, he is a champion, but I don't want to ruin Luke's evening by calling him champion in qualifying, because Luke obviously would like the big hoorah, as we said, come the end of the day. As we look at Candolga heading through the first sector. As Santiago looking for an invite. So apologies folks, we will be back in 1 second. Just going to get Santiago an invite. You know what, you're going to a commercial break. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line, out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program. Well, sorry folks, probably worst time commercial break ever, because Niels Hartl is out of qualifying here in the Saudi Arabian... Oh no, never mind, he had a qualifying suspension. That's my bad, that's my fault, unfortunately. My head is on Mars, unfortunately, ladies and gentlemen. I completely forgot he had a qualifying suspension, as well as Leroy Van Schendel. But here comes Candolga then, heading towards the start-finish line. We're going to get Santiago back in proceedings here this evening. Sorry for putting you under commercial. That's an all-McLaren front row. That's a very, very good sign when you're trying to wrap up a Constructors' Championship. There goes the Williams in the background of Matthew Stott. Let's take a look at Morris Stumer. He's currently the closest to the two McLarens, but round goes Stumer. Oh, he could actually be stuck on a curb here. No, gets it out of the way, but that will definitely impede the Alpine. He's not on a lap though, thankfully, so he can just carry on. We still haven't seen 4 times on the board. Niels Hartl, Vestaco Bardi, Santiago Araujo and Leroy Van Schendel. We're not going to see any from Niels or Leroy, but we should see some from Gobadi and Araujo. But here comes Luke Davies heading for the middle sector down towards the hairpin at turn 27. What can he do then heading into this corner? He doesn't want to Verstappen it, but thankfully he's not fighting against the Lewis to try and win the championship. Here comes Luke though. What can he do? This could be genuinely Luke's most impressive result of the season if he plays his cards right. There goes Davies, 26.4. He can go a lot quicker than that as well. That's not even Luke Davies' peak around this circuit. Stumer we saw have the spin. How's Matthew Stott's performing on his next endeavour? He's 0.4 of a second up, mind you. Currently tracking for the second row of the grid. Currently tracking to beat Morris Stumer, but he needs a good final sector. He suffered here on his earlier runs in qualifying. We saw that, but with 6 minutes and 50 seconds to go, it seems like Stotts is finding a bit of performance in this Williams, heading down towards 27. Maybe a little bit hot through there, but he seemed to hit his apex okay. Yellow flag in the final sector. That's for an Alpha Tauri. That's for Morris Stumer, who's just going slow, building for another run. Here comes Stotts to the line. Stotts onto the front row of the grid, beats Candolga. That's an excellent lap from Matthew Stotts. I say excellent, it is 9 tenths off pole, but yeah, Luke's in a bit of a different planet here this evening. It's amazing what Luke can do when there's no pressure on him. Avesta Gobadi, though, he's going to be Luke's real challenger. I have a feeling it's going to be Gobadi versus Davies for the race win here this evening, unless Saudi Arabia becomes Saudi Arabia. But let's see what he can do. Here comes Gobadi, slight nick on the outside wall, the Alfa Romeo, down towards the timing beam. Is he going to split it and go quickest? 26.4 is what he's looking for. 26.5 onto the front row of the grid from Avesta Gobadi, but he couldn't quite beat Lightning Luke Davies. That's an excellent lap there from Avesta Gobadi, and a job well done. Remember, of course, I don't know how long for the five of you have been watching Formula Virtual Racing, but Luke Davies back in, was it season 7? I'd like to say season 7, had a really impressive overtaking showing. Had a very, very impressive overtaking showing. I think I might have even made a compilation for the YouTube channel, but he had a really impressive overtaking performance here in Saudi Arabia. Was able to nip in and out of cars easy as you like, and drove to his first podium of that season and got third spot. But I don't think he's going to have... I think he probably took more cars that day than there actually is on the grid here this evening. But once again, folks, thank you very much for watching Formula Virtual Racing on this evening. It means a lot to us, anyone who does view the channel, because yeah, when things are not going great, we do greatly appreciate the support from the loyal ones among you. But Avesta in second, Luke in first, Matthew Stotts then in third. It's two different power units in the top two, or top three, I should say. 3 different power units in the top 5, I suppose you could say. Red Bull with only one driver here to see. Adrian isn't here. I've just noticed. Where's Adrian gone to? I think he was supposed to be racing, but Adrian is not here. I've just noticed we have no Canadian Taisha. But yeah, was Adrian supposed to be racing this evening? Oh, he was. Where is Adrian? He's not on the grid. I'm not missing him. But yeah, where is Adrian? That's awful unfortunate. We do miss the Canadian around here. We're looking at Santiago Araujo as he is heading towards the final corner, turn 27. Let's see. Seems to be a few internet issues here for Santiago, unfortunately. That lap, he still will get a time in. He'll go to 10th, so he won't be starting behind those who had a qualifying suspension. Here comes Kyle Albert, heading through the final couple of corners, down towards the start-finish line. Let's see what he can do, and that's Leroy confirming his qualifying suspension. Kyle goes on to the second row. That's a very nippy lap from Kyle Albert. Fair play, he's putting in the work here for Scuderia Ferrari to try and get them a good result in the Constructors' Championship. Scuderia Ferrari, of course, if I can get the Constructors' standings up, unfortunately not on your screen, just for myself, they are 4th, so they can theoretically overtake Aston Martin. They are tied on points with Aston Martin in 3rd. Aston Martin just ahead on countback. That is, of course, because of the Leroy Vincendal Spa-Francorchamps race victory. But three minutes to go here in qualifying for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Do hope you're enjoying the action so far. It's not the most exciting qualifying in the world, but we'll still try to provide something for you this evening, ladies and gentlemen. But let's see what happens, as it should hopefully be interesting, ladies and gentlemen. A reminder of the driver standings heading into this evening, although they're slightly irrelevant at this point. We'll still remind you, it is Luke Davies on top by 34 points. For Lewis to win, or to keep the Drivers' Championship going on to Brazil. The thing that I don't get this about Lewis, usually I wouldn't mention this because I would go into full marketing mode, is that Luke isn't even doing the final race. Lewis still has a really good opportunity of winning this title, but I suppose when you've won 3 championships, you just don't really care anymore, do you? But Luke on top by 34 points. Lewis had to outscore him by 9 points today to keep the championship going on to Brazil. Then Gobadi in 3rd, followed by Pastilli in 4th, and then Thomas Main in 5th. I gotta say, fair play to Thomas, because I don't know how he still is in 5th, because unfortunately we haven't seen him for a few weeks. But am I going to show? Yeah, you know what? I will show this graphic. There's championship status. Luke Davies is the world champion as it stands, and unless he gets a points deduction for, I don't know, illegal fuel flow or something. I don't know. Maybe he says something about the Irish rugby team. I don't know. That's the only way I can really see Lewis outscoring Luke by 9 points here today. But yeah, Luke, he's still going to put in the effort and try and get the race win up. He says he takes it race by race. I believe he still will take it race by race until it is officially confirmed at the end of the evening. But here comes Brady through the final corner. He is on a timed lap, so this one can certainly count towards progressing further up that order. Here he goes across the start-finish line. Brady Pollock into the top 5 and 4th position specifically. There is a McLaren coming behind as well. That is that Cam Dolger who's finishing his lap. That's Cam Dolger who's starting a lap, and his teammate Lightning Luke Davies is just behind. This should be a good pole shootout nonetheless, because Avesta is right behind Luke as well. Unfortunately, end of the road for Kyle Albert. He's invalidated. Actually, he can still make it round. He's cutting the corners. I would say you're not allowed to do that, but you know, I'm in a lenient mood this evening, so we'll see what he can do. Here comes Cam Dolger. What's his first sector split going to be like? There's an Alfa Romeo off, just heading through turn number 6. Oh, Cam's made a mistake. That's qualifying over for Cam Dolger. What's Luke Davies' first sector like? We know he can go quicker than a 26.4. He's a tenth of a second up. What about Avesta Gobadi? Gobadi's done. That's going to be pole position for Luke Davies. Cannot see anyone from further down the grid find the time to beat Luke, but he's going to still keep pushing and hope for the best here, maybe. In towards the right-hander now. He's got the McLaren in front who's going to tow him all the way home. Down, or tow him towards the 22-23 chicane, I should say. On board here with the Season 10 World Champion. Down towards the left-hander. How much speed does he take through here? Oh, it's still full. Luke Davies' commitment through there was close to that wall on the left-hand side. He's not lifting off. He's not slowing down. Not easing off the gas. And Luke Davies is looking to try take pole position once again here in Formula Virtual Racing. He took the most important pole of the season, of course, Monaco. It wasn't just important because it was Monaco. It was important because we trialled Crunch qualifying it as well. That seems like it was years ago. But here comes Luke Davies towards the start-finish line. What's this lap going to be? Across the line, it's going to be a 26 flat. Luke Davies takes pole by 4/10 of a second here over the next best car. Valiant effort. Matthew Stotts is improving on a time as well. Next across the timing beam, Tim Denhire going to improve to 9th. Good lap there from Tim. What about Enzo King across the line? He's going to jump up to 6th place. Santiago Araujo still on a lap as well, as is Matthew Stotts. Brady Pollock is technically on a lap. It's not a timed one. Keep an eye for Morris Stewart. No, you don't have to. He's invalidated, meaning the last man is Matthew Stotts, unless he's at the mother of all final sectors. Oh, he's not. Oh, he's Verstappen. Into the wall goes Matthew Stotts, heading through turn number 27. Luke Davies is on pole for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It wasn't really in doubt with Matthew Stotts with how it was tracking, but that one's confirmed it. So Lightning Luke is pretty lightning, it turns out, and he's on pole for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. That is, that's a statement. That's a statement from Luke. 4/10 at a track that very much suits Avesta Gobadi's driving style. Very much suits Avesta Gobadi's driving style. As yeah, that's impressive from Luke. McLaren, good performance to wrap up the constructors' title as well. They're doing a good job at McLaren. This will be 2 on the bounce actually in terms of constructors' championships. It will be their 3rd. In Formula Virtual Racing history. Who are we actually waiting on? We're waiting on Santiago. We could be a while here. we certainly could be a while, but we are waiting on Santiago. But yeah, great performance from McLaren. They're looking to wrap up their 3rd constructor standings. And actually, if McLaren won today, they'd go tied on most FVR race wins. They'd go tied with Red Bull and Aston Martin. Red Bull, of course, have been shocking the past 2 seasons. Oh no, not last season, sorry. They won the championship last 2 seasons, didn't they? Shocking the past season. Or shocking this season in the round. We seem to be stuck on 1. I think Santiago's going to have to leave the lobby. You know what, folks? Your full qualifying order, it's Luke Davies out of Avesta Gobadi, Kyle Albert, Brady Pollock, Matthew Stotts, Enzo King, Cam Dolger, Morris Stewart, Andrew Davis, Tim Denhire, Santiago Araujo, Nils Hartl and Leroy Vinchendel. We're going to go to commercial, folks. See you in a couple of moments' time. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line, out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the... Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. We have transitioned into the race. All issues have been fixed, and we're getting ready to go here in Saudi Arabia. The track is on your screen now, folks. It is, of course, the Jeddah Corniche Circuit. 6 point... is it 127 or 227? I can't read my own writing. It should come up in a moment, but it's 3.836 kilometres. It's 174. It's 3.836 kilometres, 27 corners, 16 to the left, and 11 to the right. Lap record, Lewis Hamilton, of course. It's only a 220 metre run from the pole to turn number 1 and a 245 kilometres per hour average speed. Debuted, of course, in the 2021 Formula 1 season. The circuit was finished construction merely days before the Grand Prix began. It's the second largest circuit on the Formula 1 calendar, only behind Spa-Francorchamps. Turn 13 as well, that you can certainly see on your screen now, actually is a 12-degree banking, and that's 7 less than Arie Luyendyk Bocht in Zandvoort. It's the 13th largest country as well in landmass, of course, the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's hosted a good few FVR races over its time. Let us know down below, folks, of course, what your thoughts on the race is. I know we only have 13 drivers for this evening, but we're still going to have a corker, hopefully, because Saudi Arabia can usually provide the goods. And also, folks, we are heading back to the race now, and we have a very split strategy. It's mediums for Luke Davies, but softs for Vestago Bardi. Luke Davies, of course, came into the race knowing he just needs to beat Lewis McWilliam. He's going to do that because Lewis isn't here and he is world champion. Vestago, of course, has got 3 wins this season, or has got 2 wins this season, I believe, or has he got 3? You know what, I'm going to fact check this one now. Usually this is where Brendan would come in and correct me, but I'm gonna fact check this one for you, ladies and gentlemen. I do have the spreadsheet open beside me. Vesta he's 2 wins this season, so I was right in correcting myself. It's then Kyle Albert in 3rd. Dare I say, best ever qualifying from Kyle Albert. Cannot fact check that one, but I think it is a really good effort from Kyle to go 3rd. Brady Pollock, of course, in 4th. One-time Formula Virtual Racing winner, won in Singapore under the night sky there in Marina Bay. He'd love to do it here in Jeddah as well. Matthew Stotts then starts in 5th. My controls. This is a disaster. Sorry, folks. My controller completely slipped out of my hand. It's Matthew Stotts, then in 5th for Williams, with Enzo King in 6th position. Behind Enzo, of course, very good around street circuits. Won 2 times in a row in Azerbaijan. Khan Dogger then in 7th. Podium once this season in the United States. He'd love a good result here in Jeddah. Then it's Morris Stumer for AlphaTauri. Himself and Niels Hartl in 12th, looking to get a good result for the team. Andrew Davis in 9th, with Tim Denhire in 10th. Then it is Santiago Arujo, who I believe isn't joining back. He kind of had a bit of a conniption fit when people told him he had to leave the lobby so he could continue on. He could join back, he's more than entitled to, but yeah. Need I say more on that? Niels Hartl is starting in 12th, with Leroy Vincendel down the back in 13th. Keep an eye on Leroy, he's still a very quick driver. Let us know your predictions in the stream chat below, folks. They would be greatly appreciated. And yeah, let's see how this one is going to end up. Luke Davies rounding through the final corner now to start the main Grand Prix. Hopefully Santiago does join back, so we don't have an AI car tumbling round the back. But we will wait and see how this one plays out. As Luke lines up on the grid. Leroy has got slightly out of position here, but keep an eye on him as well. We line up here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. It's the 11th round of the Formula Virtual Racing season, and it is going to be a significant moment in many a career. Here we go on the main straight. 2, 3, 4, 5. Red lights. And we go racing here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. There was a bit of a jump start from Santiago in the background. The two Alfa Romeos both running line astern into the first corner. Gobadi stuck a wheel up the inside. Davies has to vacate the circuit. Goes off the track. Avesta Gobadi leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Lucas got a shocker of a start here, falling down to third. Did have to go off to the track. Maybe that position should have been let back through from Avesta. But here comes Luke, rounding through the middle sector. Side by side with Kyle Albert. There is so many risks being taken by Luke Davies through here, but he's into third spot. Albert gets the jump turn, but round goes Kyle. Oh, he got such a good qualifying, such a good start. Kyle spins it round, heading through turn number 10 and falls down to the back of the order. Brady Pollock side by side with Matthew Stotts here, heading through into the middle sector for the first time. That's a great move from Matthew Stotts. He's up 2 positions on an original starting position of 5th. Brady is remained in 4th, of course. He did gain a spot from that spin from Kyle Albert. Great race start for Nils Hartl. He's up 4, passing Andrew Davis. Good move there from the AlphaTauri. Avesta 2.3 second race lead. Stunning from Avesta Gobadi, performing excellently on the opening lap, but maybe a little bit of debate around whether he should have let Luke back through on the opening lap, because technically did force Luke off the circuit, but that one could be one for the race stewards to decide. Here comes Brady Pollock heading in towards the final corner. Last of the late breakers up the inside of the Williams. It's a risky move to go for as he almost slides the car. Had taken that inside line. If he had to slid that car anymore, would have been into the side of Matthew Stotts, and we would have potentially had 2 cars out of the Grand Prix. Gobadi with the fastest lap, of course. Here comes Brady Pollock though, back up the inside of the Williams racing machine. Late braking and precise from Pollock. Good move there. He's up and through in towards 3rd spot. It's a double Alfa Romeo podium. That's most certainly the first time that's happened this season. Yafin Panguru has not tasted much success apart from the points he scored last time out in Silverstone. 2.1 seconds the gap now. Luke's finding a little bit of a mojo maybe in the first sector. Oh, huge mistake from Avesta. It's now 1.2. What has happened to Avesta Gobadi heading through that first sector? He's had a massive moment, and now the DRS gap is back. Oh, there's a front wing missing. There is no BWT sponsorship at the front of that Alpine car anymore. There is a front wing missing, and the Alpine is going to have to trundle it back to pit lane. But very interesting at the race start, the gap being under a second now. It was 2.1, but I would assume Avesta had a massive moment through the same corner where we saw Kyle Albert spin. And now it's 7/10 of a second. Luke is really fired up for this one. I almost feel sorry for Luke in a way that Lewis didn't show up, because he could have actually absolutely schooled him here this evening if he had of. But yeah, Luke Davies looking to try get in the toe of Avesta Gobadi's Alfa Romeo. Maybe go for an early move, because of course if he doesn't let Avesta pull away on those softs, and I'm not sure Luke's planned strategy, but if he goes for the softs later on in the race, he could certainly take this race win. Please don't ask me how Disco Mark has joined the session. Ben Driscoll has never featured on a Formula Virtual Racing grid, and may never, but I don't know how he got in the lobby. But anyways, back to matters that are important. Unfortunately Andrew Davis has to come into the pit lane. Hopefully he's going to put on a wing and carry on. We wouldn't really like to see anyone retire at this stage. Luke did get the fastest lap of this Grand Prix, but Avesta, the gap is now 1 second. Oh, massive moment for Luke Davies. Just as a sip of water was about to be taken, Luke has a huge half spin. Caught the car well. Gap is now 1.9 seconds. Just how quick things can change. That is Unfortunate for Luke Davies. 4/10 of a second though here for third. Oh, Stotts runs wide. It's going to be way more than 4/10 of a second now. Runs completely wide, and now Colin Dulker is right on the back of Matthew Stotts. He's looking for the move potentially up the inside. Stotts the fence to the inside. Now it's Dulker to the outside. Dulker going to make it free abreast here and towards the final corner. Colin Dulker goes for broke. Pollock on the inside. Stotts on the inside now as well, but Pollock spins it round in front of the pair of them, and it seems like there's a car. Oh, there's a car park. Oh, there's a car park. Both Alpha Tauris into the wall, and Alfa Romeo joined them as well. The Haas at Timden Hire has gone into the wall as well. Absolute car park. Here at the final corner. Oh, Davis has gone round again. Andrew Davis gone round again and hits into the wall just outside the... After coming out of the pit lane, I should say. That's disappointing for Andrew Davis. But it's a double McLaren podium, as somehow Candolger has introduced himself here into proceedings. Got the slipstream, went for the move around the outside, let Brady spin on the inside, and then let everyone get collected into Brady. That's awful disappointing for Brady Pollock, but it was a spin completely under his own accord. It's just like we saw Kyle Albert, Leroy Van Schendel on the hard tyres, as well as Timden Hire. Matthew Stotts right on the back of Candolger though now, though the Williams is going to go for a manoeuvre, potentially into turn 27. We've our first retirement to Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Oh my goodness me, Can almost got put in the wall again for the second week running. He lifted off there. Stotts went for almost a non-existent gap but pulled it off, and now he's ahead. Andrew Davis though, the other American alongside Matthew Stotts, has retired from the Grand Prix, and that is awfully disappointing for Andrew Davis, although if I'm being brutally honest, he didn't even want to race anyways, so yeah, we'll leave that be. Here we go, battle for the race lead. Luke Davies is going to go for this one on a Vestago Badi. He's going to try the Tyler Davison switch up the inside. It's not going to work out. Luke says it himself. Oh, you always have to remember that you can be good at something, but Davison will be better, and he tried the dummy up the inside. It didn't work on a Vesta. As well as it was effective on Thomas Main, as we saw Cam Dulger battling with Matthew Stotts. Oh, still battling with Matthew Stotts. Stotts went for that one round the outside. Seems like the medium tyre working a lot better than the soft at this point in the race, because those on the soft tyres are being absolutely swarmed all over by Matthew Stotts. Stotts running slightly wide, thought he was going to be slightly nabbed by the curb and would just be collected along it, because that sometimes happens in this game for some reason. I suppose it would really happen in real life with the low ride heights that we do run. But yeah, Stotts now actually getting off scot-free, but still a good battle for the race lead here. We said it could be between Gobadi and Davies, and it is. It's certainly looking that way. We are on lap 5 of 25. This race could be ran very quickly if we don't have safety cars. But we will wait and see, as the Vesta Gobadi now gonna be lured in from Luke Davies into the slipstream. Goes the McLaren man. Can he stick a wheel up the inside potentially here? Trying his best. No, he's going to sit behind. Clever that from Luke. Remember, he won the opening race of the season in Las Vegas because of DRS games. He certainly knows how to play them. There was a bit of DRS games actually through the final corner in Qatar as well, if you remember correctly, between these two, between Gobadi and Davies. It was actually Gobadi who won on that occasion, but Luke ran out of fuel anyways, so it wouldn't have made a difference. We had no safety cars in Qatar. Or did we have a safety car in Qatar? I can't really remember. It was a while ago, to be honest. We have no safety cars here this evening, which is quite unusual for Saudi Arabia. But into the middle sector now. It's still Vesta Gobadi who leads the Grand Prix. Here comes Luke Davies. Look at this beautiful overhead shot by the helicopter camper. Look at Luke just all over the back of that Alfa Romeo. That's the power in the slipstream. There's actually a swap behind that. Stotts who's past Condolger, but Luke is going to close in on the Alfa Romeo of Vesta Gobadi. He opts for the outside. I imagine there's going to be some DRS shenanigans here, is there? Not from Luke. Luke decides he's going to take this one in a stride, and he's going to take the lead of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix here. Vesta Gobadi behind. is it's gonna look with this one. This is very similar to the 2021 Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, actually, where it was two titans of motorsport racing at the front, and then it was everyone else behind pretty much. 7.3 second gap between these top two and third and fourth. Third Matthew Stotts, fourth Callum Doger. Both AlphaTauris, despite being involved in an incident, are fifth and sixth here in this one. I don't get it either. I don't understand it either. But they are fifth and sixth. As Gobadi runs wide. Mistake from Avesta Gobadi. Luke Davies looking all over the back here. The thing that has saved Avesta is how tight this first sector is. Otherwise, Luke would have had him for breakfast, lunch and dinner. Maybe even a snack after tea as well. There, heading through the middle sector. But the McLaren is right on the back of the Alfa Romeo and trying his best to get the job done. Lap 7 out of 25. I wonder will Avesta be thinking of a pit stop soon, because those soft tyres are not going to last overly long. Certainly we saw an interesting conundrum last week with the tyres where Luke actually lost out in Silverstone. Lewis McWilliam with the better strategy on that day. He doesn't have the better strategy today, however. But heading towards turn number 27. Luke all over the back of Avesta once again. How does Luke play his cards? Does he go for the race lead once again, or does he just sit behind? He doesn't have as much of an overspeed this time round, so he can't afford to sit behind. Heading here into... Oh, Avesta's definitely lifted off there. Avesta wants the DRS down towards turn number 1. They exit turn 27. The problem here is, if Avesta doesn't pull off this move or gets a bad run through the final corner, this tactic wouldn't work, but here he goes. And that's going to be the race lead. Once again for Avesta Gobadi. Luke pulls back into line and is going to fall back into place. Let's have a look further down the field. Here comes Callum Doger looking at the inside of Stotts. These two, bit more aggressive. Doger doesn't get the job done. Stotts burning a lot more of his battery than Callum Doger, so I think Callum will be in a better place come the end of this Grand Prix. From an ERS perspective, if of course we don't get that full course safety car or that visitation from Bernd Baylander, which we're currently not on course to do so. As Luke Davies still pressuring Avesta Gobadi. Let's ride on board with Luke for the next couple of corners. I'll turn off the mic and we can listen to how our new elected world champion tackles this middle sector. Luke sitting behind here. Is Avesta going to lift off? Oh, clever lift off from Avesta Gobadi. He lifted off right at the right point because Luke was going to probably go up the inside and get the DRS. Anyways, here comes Gobadi though. Going to retake the race lead. And he is going to retake the race lead here on lap 9 of proceedings in the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Andrew Davis says he cannot race this race anymore. And that's why he backed out. I think maybe some car trouble. As Stotts right on the back of Callum Doger, right close to the McLaren. Stotts braking quite late there for the corner, and we'll wait and see how this one plays out. Gobadi again, another slide, heading through turn number 10. Luke gonna get close, and I imagine we'll take the race lead heading into turn 27. It's a little bit monotonous, this, I think, folks. I think we need a bit of a spicener, something to spice this race up. Some herbs and spices, maybe a bit of, I don't know, a Cyprus sea salt. That's not really a spice, is it? That's salt. Is paprika? Yeah, paprika. Paprika is a spice. This has turned into Evan Dalton discusses spices because he's nothing else to talk about because he's solo commentating on a Saudi Arabian Grand Prix with 12 runners. So paprika. What other spices do we have? We have, of course, those Tesco ones where they mix them all together. You have your Thai sweet chili. Oh, Thai sweet chili. Or is that a sauce? I don't know. Could be a sauce. Here we go in towards turn number 27 again. Gobadi doesn't do that traditional lift-off, meaning Luke Davies will get the DRS this time round. Down towards turn number 1. Here comes the McLaren. Can he go for this one in towards the first corner? He's got the overspeed. Gobadi defends to the inside, but Davies with that overspeed now leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Gobadi will fall behind. I think this is going to be the first time Luke leads a full lap in quite a while. as the two Alpha Tauris swap. I think that could have been a mistake actually from Nils Hartl, because it seems like Morris has almost dropped him out of DRS, which would indicate to me that it was a mistake. Enzo King, or Enzo Friedrich Tofer or something, I think is his full official name, but he likes to go by King. I love him going by King, it's much easier for graphics. Here comes Enzo King down in towards turn number 1. He's going to get past his old friend Leroy Vincendl. They still are friends, but maybe not as close. Leroy had a strong connection with Thomas Main, who has gone on to new endeavours, of course. And yeah, there's Vestigobadi, now 0.5 of a second behind Luke. Maybe we need to talk about spices again, because things got interesting in a couple of moments where I started discussing spices. I know there is one that's like Parmethian or something. No, that's Parmesan, and that's a cheese. Even I know that. What has this Luke become? We used to be a fairly serious organisation. Now we're discussing spices, because I don't really have anything else to speak about. Luke is going to lead the full lap, unless Investa gets the mother of all exits. Oh, way too hot from Vestigobadi, way too deep in towards turn 27. Maybe that gives Luke an opportunity to lead onto the next lap, because Investa completely muddled up his exit there. Look at him into the slipstream. No, doesn't go for it. Luke's going to lead lap 11 then, unless he makes a mistake somewhere along the lap, because Investa, whoa, a bit of a rear kick out there for Luke as well. So these guys are still pushing. They're certainly not lifting off, even though everything may be pretty much decided. They're still pushing, as it seems like the AlphaTauris have swapped. That's because Stumer's into the pit lane. There was someone else coming into the pit lane as well, I think. Oh no, it was actually Vincendl getting past Enzo King down in towards turn number 27 once again. See what I mean? When we talk about spices, things start to spice it up a little bit. Gordon Ramsay would be proud of me. Or probably not, but, you know. Adages, etc, etc. And there's another one in the pit lane as well. That's Brady Pollock. So Stumer's gone for the hards. Brady Pollock has gone for the medium tyres. Vestigobadi is due a pit stop. He is due a pit stop here. He's on 10 lap old softs. Okay, look, that's a tactical, non-sit in the slipstream move from Vestigobadi. He doesn't want to lead this race, is what I'm getting from this. He doesn't actually want to lead this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Here comes Investa, tucked into the slipstream. Now he's going to go for it. But I think he's kind of been forced his hand there, really, because of the powerful slipstream. I think he's been kind of forced his hand. We are almost halfway through this Grand Prix. If you are enjoying the action, please subscribe to the Formula Virtual Racing YouTube channel, and please, yeah, consider it could you say a beg? I don't know a fancier word. I know I'm a pretend commentator, but I'm trying to think of a better word, but consider it a plea. A plea! There we go. As Enzo, or Leroy I should say, is playing that this man in the mediums could stop re-overtaking him, because Enzo King, back in front of Leroy Vincendl, these are being backed up into Callum Dolger, who is out of the box on fresh tyres. He's going to go on a set of mediums to the end. Oh, Kyle Albert, 5 seconds for speeding in the pit lane. Unfortunate for Kyle, because I thought he had a good shot in this race, but just had that spin and moment in the opening lap. He's gone for a set of softs now as Kyle Albert. This is his second pit stop in this race. He's going to try and go on a set of softs and extend them until the end of the Grand Prix. It's doable. It is doable. As Morris Stumer has picked up a 3-second time penalty. I would expect Investa in on this lap. He's going to go for the undercut on Lightning Luke Davies. But remember, Luke is going to be on that set of softs towards the end of the Grand Prix, which is potentially the better tyre. There goes the Alfa Romeo into the pit lane. Luke Davies will have free reign amongst this Jeddah Corniche circuit for as long as his heart will contain, or should I say the next lap, until he pulls into the pit lane for the opposite compound. As there goes Gobadi. It is going to be the medium tyres. This Pirelli soft compound tyre has worked a treat for him in this opening stint, and so has the lack of safety cars. So out of the pit lane, Investa had probably the worst pit exit of all time last season. When he tried to pull out of this pit lane, he's done better than last season. Now he'd already hit the wall by this point. He also hit this wall, and he avoids it. Much better, Avesta. He's made the mistake and he's learned about it. There he goes. He's lapped now. Santiago Arujo comes out of the pit lane ahead of Niels Hartl, who has not made his mandatory pit stop yet. There goes Karl Dolger. Karl Dolger battling with Vincendel. Vincendel keeps a wheel up the inside. Here the Aston Martin, the Turkishman, accelerates out of the corner, looking for this one on the Aston Martin now. This is the three teams fighting for the Constructors' World Championship. Dolger up the inside. Dolger round. No, sorry, Vincendel round. Apologies. Leroy Vincendel gets spun round. It was audacious. It was audacious from the Dutchman. He didn't really have the pace of the tyres to fight that battle. He fought it, and now he's faced the consequences. Leroy Vincendel round here in this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Awful disappointing for the Aston Martin. Does Luke Davies pull into the pit lane this time round, though? His teammate is in the wars. Luke has it all his own way. Into the pit lane comes the Briton. Keeps it between the white lines. All good there from Luke. Job well done. Where is Avesta? Heading down towards turn number 27. Where is he going to come out in relation to the Briton? To be fair, at least we have a two-car battle for the race win. You could say it's been a slightly mediocre race compared to usual Saudi Arabian standards, but at least we have a two-car battle for the race lead. There's Luke exiting pit lane. You can get a good view of Avesta Gobadi heading in towards the first corner. Luke still coming out of pit lane. There's Luke there. You can just see the McLaren in the background, and there is Avesta Gobadi heading through the first corner. So Luke Davies is still within touching distance of the Ukrainian in front of him. Hold on a second. Luke's gone for the hard tyres. Why has he done that? That's a horrendous decision from Luke. The soft tyres could have easily made the end from here, considering Avesta's literally done this stint in front of him on higher fuel loads. As Matthew Stotts is a good chance as well. With a yellow flag in the middle sector. That's going to be an Alfa Romeo, is it? I don't know. Leroy Vincendel having some trouble. Fastest lap of the race for Kyle Albert there. Good job by Kyle, as Leroy's picked up a 3-second time penalty. That's a horrendous decision by Luke. It's an awful decision. He's losing rapid amounts of time. He's gone for the hard tyres when the softs, which is not just one step better, 2 steps better, could have easily made it. Avesta could be on for another race win here, but we will wait and see how it plays out. Leroy's out of the race, and we go under safety car. Leroy Vincendel is out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Oh, maybe Luke has been saved. Maybe Luke has been slightly saved, although he's going to be kicking himself that he didn't wait. He's in. Oh, he's in. Luke is... It's the first ever time that Luke has backed out of a potential bad strategy call. Oh, you could have gone for softs again, Luke, but I do like that call for the mediums. That's a good call. I love a medium competitor tire, so I think that's a good decision by Luke to go for that one. But he will, yeah. This could make this interesting. We could have an interesting end to the race. Well, folks, we have the tyres on your screen now. Gobadi, mediums. Then it is Matthew Stotts, Luke Davies on mediums. Then it is Niels Hartl, softs. Colin Dulger, softs. Morris Stumer on the medium. Oh, what's happened to Avesta? What has happened to Avesta? Because Matthew Stotts now leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Okay, I think it's just internet issues. As these two are swapping and changing a little bit. Has Avesta just lost the race lead? What a call by Matthew Stotts, though. Just to... Matthew Stotts wasn't even supposed to be racing. He said he wanted to watch boxing. Wasn't it? I know I want to go watch rugby after this. So I assume he'll be going to watch boxing. And we will wait and see what happened. What happens. Folks, while we're on the safety car, because I've ran out of things to talk about, we're going to go for a quick commercial. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line, out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the programme. Well folks, welcome back. To be honest, I'm not too sure what's going on here with Avesta's car. I think the lap traffic has a part to play in this. But we will wait and see. It is Matthew Stotts who leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix ahead of Avesta Gobadi. Then it is Lightning Luke Davies, Nils Hartl, Can Dolger. Then it is Morris Stuber, Enzo King, Tim Denhire, Brady Pola, Kyle Albert, and Santiago Araujo. At least this brings Kyle back into the race. I don't know anyone who doesn't like Kyle as a driver. But we will wait and see. Another advantage that Luke has gone from a lot worse tyres than Avesta to better tyres than Avesta. I know Avesta was raging after qualifying at the fact Luke beat him by 4/10. I think he could be raging by a lot more now that Luke sat behind him on a better tyre. The softs is the best to the end in this one, but at least Luke doesn't have that hideous hard tyre warm-up. He now is on level pegging with Avesta, and I know in real life 2 laps better tyres is not a lot, but on the game it certainly is, and Luke is going to be on good tyres to the end of this Grand Prix. Oh, this is going to be exciting now. We've not really had an exciting race so far, but this is going to be good. This is going to be exciting to the end of this Grand Prix. If you're enjoying the action once again here in Formula Virtual Racing, I know I've said this many times, but please do make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel if you want to hear me waffling away more to myself. We should have Brendan hopefully back for a few races soon potentially, and we would love to have Kyle Davis back. He's actually racing in an endurance race at the minute. So that's why, unfortunately, he's not here. But safety car in this lap. We're going to go racing once again here in Formula Virtual Racing. It's going to be Matthew Stotts who leads the safety car restart. There is lap traffic between himself and Avesta Gobadi. So if he times this right, he could be able to hurt Avesta's chances of overtaking that lapped car before the green flag zone. But here we go then. Stotts comes out of the final corner. He's kept up good speed, and we go racing once again here in Saudi Arabia. That's a great restart from Stotts, but Gobadi has dispatched that lap car. Here comes Lightning Luke Davies looking for this one on the back of the Alfa Romeo. It's a wide disbursement here on the safety car restart, unless your name's Enzo King up the inside of the Alpha Tauri of Stuber. Bit of contact between the pair. Morris Stuber has, Avesta's got a 5-second time penalty, but so has Lightning Luke Davies here. But do ignore those, they will be removed, I'm sure, after the race has concluded. But Luke and Avesta, at least they're both on level pegging, because we think that they are both the favourites for this race win, or certainly I do. There's no one else here that has thought that. Enzo, way off the circuit, way off the circuit, heading through turn number 9 and 10, and he's fallen behind Brady Pollock here. Up the inside goes the Austrian, South African round the outside. Both these found success in Mercedes, but Brady now is in the opposite Alfa Romeo here, heading in towards the middle sector. What can he do for this Alfa Romeo team? Could he potentially get them a good few points in the constructors standings and bring them into that top 3? What a result it would be for Alfa Romeo in the top 3. They've never tasted success of a championship before here in Formula Virtual Racing, but I think a top 3 in the championship would be just as good to them. Stotts still leads by 0.6 of a second here in Saudi Arabia. Avesta Gobadi in second, Luke Davies in third. No soft tyres, still really good for Matthew Stotts, but once the DRS kicks in, we're going to have a race in our hands. We're going to have a race in our hands, certainly. We saw how powerful it was when Luke and Avesta were swapping and changing multiple times, but we will see how it goes. Gobadi, fastest lap of the Grand Prix on that medium compounded tyres, 1:29.8, really quick lap from Avesta under race trim. Of course, we're on low fuel and fresh tyres as Pollock closes the door to a Denhire move. Denhire actually nicks the back of the Alfa Romeo, but I think front wing damage has not been accumulated from the Haas, and I think he's scot-free in towards the first sector now for the 18th time out of 25. Avesta Gobadi. There's just something about Avesta through some of the corners that really makes you panic. If you're an Alfa Romeo fan, look at Luke all over the back of Avesta Gobadi. Luke is roaring for this one. He really wants this race win. He really wants to make this an occasion that he may have been stripped of. Luke wants to make this the ultimate Davies party this evening here in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, he's at home in the UK, but you get what I mean. Stotts, though, has never been in a position like this before in FVR. Maybe he has in other races, but he certainly has not been in Formula Virtual Racing, and some of the best drivers have struggled to win here. But here comes Gobadi going for the outside. Luke Davies trying the long way around the outside. He's trying the widest arc. He's trying the most opportunistic move in towards turn number 27. Stotts has been taken out of the picture. Davies and Gobadi side by side into turn number 27, exiting the corner and getting the run on the straight. Luke Davies leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. What a crazy man this man is at times. What an incredible move heading through the final couple of corners. He went for broke, he went for them both. He's achieved that success, and he is up and into the lead of this race once again here in Jeddah. But this is going to be a pressure cooker between these top two until that very last straight, until we reach the start finish line, because we've seen positions decided on the final straight here many a time before in Saudi Arabia. Avesta once again flicks it through the first couple of corners and keeps behind Luke Davies for the time being. Two tenths separate Avesta and Luke. It's like a small campsite, 2/10. Avesta is going to take the race lead here in the slipstream. He'll take it into 27. Is he going to try to take it into 22? No, I don't think anyone is stupid enough to go for that audacious send on a man as fired up as Luke Davies is at the moment. But let's wait to see. This is still a great race, folks, and Matthew Stotts has not been taken out of it. Avesta once again going to play his usual tricks. He's got more tricks up his sleeve than this one, though, I can assure you of that. Is Condoga going to be taken by Nils Hartl? No, he's not. If something goes wrong for the front pair, something could happen to Condoga. Remember, Luke and Avesta may not take the race win on the circuit, but they could easily take it after the penalties. Gobadi leads the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Luke Davies falls to second. Stotts wasn't able to get a look in there. Nils Hartl up to fourth. Nils, he's come alive here in this race. He's not taken really a good result since his first ever podium in Britain, his first ever race. Nils also said many a time that he was going to straight line Luke in this Grand Prix. Wouldn't it be great to see him stand alongside Luke on the podium on World Championship winning day? By the way, when I say he said he was going to straight line him, I think he was joking. I don't think he was going to do something like that, but we will wait and see. Here it goes. Brady Pollock on Condoga. Alfa Romeo versus McLaren for the race lead. Alfa Romeo versus McLaren for 6th place, as Avesta Gobadi does have this race lead by 4/10, but we still have plenty of laps to go here in this one. Luke pressured right behind Avesta Gobadi. Tucks into the slipstream now. Is he going to take the race lead? Is he going to sit behind? Stotts has fallen by the wayside, which makes me think, I will admit, I was wrong about those softs probably still being in good nick at this stage in the race, and that's Pollock past Hartl. Pollock got a bit of a run here as well. He's looking for a good result. Here goes Avesta Gobadi back into the slipstream and Luke Davies. Luke took the race lead. He'll technically lead that lap, but Gobadi will take it straight back from him. Further afield, however, Nils Hartl tucks into the slipstream of Pollock. There's no real tactics here. This is just straight dogfight racing here in towards turn number 1. Hartl wasn't able to keep it alongside. Further adrift then, Morris Stuber looking for a move on Enzo King. Unfortunately, Albert has not really made much of an impact on this safety car restart, despite having the best tyres in the field. Disappointing from Kyle, actually. I would have expected him to be up there, considering the good qualifying. Santiago Arojo, unfortunately, is a minute and 53 off Kyle Albert in 10th, so they'll all get points if they finish. Remember, you got to finish a Formula Virtual race if you want to score points, even if you're in the top 10, and fastest lap does not have to be in the top 10 to take the point. But we don't have anyone other than the top 10 actually running in this race, so fastest lap will be in the top 10. It does belong to Avesta for that safety car restart lap, of course. Beautiful shot once again from the helicopter camera. I will say that every time, because isn't it just an absolute stunning shot heading into the final sector. But it's a shootout here between Avesta and Luke once again, and this is all going to be about who is second, I think, heading into this corner come lap 25. Will it be Luke? Will it be Avesta? No, only time will tell. It's a great fight between these two. I gotta say, these two have had some great battles this season. Qatar was a good highlight for Avesta and Luke scraps, and here comes Luke up the inside, last of the late breakers. We haven't really seen it go that late into the braking zone side by side since maybe the first lap of the race, but Luke gets it done. Up on the inside, Kyle Albert and Tim Denhire side by side here as well. Denhire gonna leave the space, bit of a wheel bang between the pair. Albert goes wide, and Kyle Albert, oh, he spun round. Oh, when you have a bad day, you really do have a bad day in motorsport, don't you? Kyle thunders into the wall. Very lucky not to lose a wheel there. I've seen it happen before. But yeah, that's Kyle's race, unfortunately, over. Here goes Gabadi. Is Gabadi going to look for the inside? No, he's not. Just sits behind and going to play it safe for the time being. I really did think he was going up the inside there, ladies and gentlemen. But thankfully, my conscience was incorrect. We're coming up on the final laps of the race, folks. Make sure you don't go anywhere. Avesta once again looking in towards turn number 27, but an impact was not made. He'll wait for the final corner, or turn 1 once again. They're the two Avesta hotspots. They're the two Luke Davies hotspots as well. There's two real hotspots on this track because of the slipstream in the DRS, really. As here comes Gobadi. Look at the battery he has saved. It's about even between the pair, but they're not even really pushing. Now, what Avesta's hoping with that manoeuvre is, he's hoping that Luke retakes first, heading onto the final lap of the race. Matthew Stotts falls to 4th, Niels Hartl in 5th. That's Brady Pollock on the podium now, ladies and gentlemen. That's a great job from Brady Pollock, and he is into 3rd here in this Grand Prix. Matthew Stotts 4th, then Niels Hartl, Colin Dulger, Enzo King, Morris Stewart, Tim Denhire and Kyle Albert. McLaren will be crowned Constructors' Champions as it stands, as Stotts runs way wide, and so does Niels Hartl. Oh, multiple mistakes. Oh, Niels Hartl. Oh my goodness me, that was almost horrendous. He comes straight back onto the track and almost cleans Can Dolga. Thankfully he did not, and Can is still running a solid 5th in this race. But let's see, down towards the final couple of laps. We have 2 more laps here in Saudi Arabia, and it is going to be a straight fight between Avesta Gobadi and Luke Davies. They are pulling the gap even to the cars behind in terms of that penalties, but those penalties I assume will be removed. We will obviously announce a penultimate winner, which as of now is looking like it's going to be Brady Pollock, but I can safely say that those 5 seconds will be removed. I'm part of Stewart's team. I am part of Stewart's team. Yeah, forget that. They'll be removed. Forget that, Tom. Here comes the two AlphaTauris looking for a scrap with Enzo King once again. Both AlphaTauris running in the points for probably the first time this season, really. As I think they took a double points finish in Zandvoort where Davison took the win. I think Hartl might have taken the 10th. Not too sure. But Stuart got a point last time out for fastest lap in Silverstone. But of course, the team in second last was Red Bull, and I believe they got some good points last time out in Silverstone as well. But we're looking at Gobadi and Davies here on the final lap, or the second final lap of the Grand Prix, as the devil has awoken, and I have probably spoken too soon. Hartl spun round there from 6th position. He's still in 9th though, so it still will be a points finish for him. At 24 out of 25, heading down to the final corner once again. Oh no, sorry, we haven't even reached turn 22 yet. Oh no, I have spoken too soon. Morris Stewart is out of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. It's not going to be a double points finish for AlphaTauri. How the hell have I commentator cursed both of them? That's a classic even for me. We're heading through the final corner. The penultimate lap of the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Here comes Luke Davies, tucked in behind Vestago Badi and looking for this one. Luke is in a fantastic position to try and win this Grand Prix here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. He heads into sector number 1. Luke's car has been on absolute rails here all day, and Luke has produced some stunning efforts many a time this season. The McLarenman has been the man on form and the man to beat as Gobadi runs wide in front, makes a mistake. That's just the presence of Davies almost at this point, and the mistakes that he's brought from other drivers. He's not physically destroyed drivers on the circuit many a time this season. He's mentally destroyed them as well from a competitor perspective. He has strung pace out of that car that may not have been in it many a time ago. It takes a lot to beat multiple time league racing champions, and when you come into a season never having won one, it takes something truly special to dethrone greatness. But Luke Davies is going to go for the race lead here in Saudi Arabia, and Luke Davies is going to complete his ultimate goal. The man who has worked for everything he's been given. The man who has fought like there's nothing truly that can stop him. His optimism is off the chart. His greatness is confirmed. Luke Davies is champion of the world. The man who could never do it has done it. The McLarenman is world champion in Formula Virtual Racing. The sweetest melody that could ever be strung from that McLaren car is to have their boy at the top of the standings with that letter C beside it. Luke Davies, he wanted that trophy. Luke Davies, he's got that trophy. He's not technically taken the race win, however. That goes to Brady Pollock, who wins on a penalty count. But I can assure you that will be Luke's race win come the end of the evening, because he has those penalties will be removed. Fair play to Avesta, by the way. Avesta almost sort of opened the doors to give Luke his moment there. I don't think he was happy about it, but he certainly played a role in this Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, and Luke will not stand on the top step of the podium. He'll stand on the second step of the podium, purely due to the penalty count, but Luke Davies will stand on a Formula Virtual Racing podium as the World Drivers' Champion. Here is your full race results, ladies and gentlemen, then, for what was a pretty decent Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, considering the numbers. It is Brady Pollock who is your provisional race winner for this evening. It is then your Season 10 World Champion who takes second. Gobadi in third, followed by Matthew Stotts in fourth, Candulger in fifth, Enzo King in sixth, Tim Denhire in seventh, Nils Hartland in eighth, Kyle Albert in ninth, Santiago Araujo in 10th. Your non-finishers were Morris Strumer, Leroy Vinchendel, and Andrew Davis. Ladies and gentlemen, unfortunately we'll not be hearing from Luke for now, but I can assure you, I've promised to Luke, and I'll promise as well, we will do a full video interview, and it will be uploaded during the week. Apologies, it's personal issues with myself that is not letting this interview happen right now. We won't get to hear the raw emotions of Luke, but there will be a full-scale video produced interview posted during the week. Luke Davies is a world champion. There's a lot of people said that wouldn't happen. He's gone and proved every single one of them wrong. Every single one. He's the first new champion since season 4, technically, and he has completed that goal. He will get that trophy if Simulus provide it, which hopefully they will. Speaking of Simulus, make sure to check them out. But Luke Davies, ladies and gentlemen, is your world champion. And McLaren, of course, are your Constructors champions as well. A big congratulations to Luke and Can Duggar for their efforts there. McLaren do take the Constructors standings due to Mercedes not accumulating enough points. But thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching. Do greatly appreciate your support here on the stream. And from myself, Evan, please do make sure to join us in the finale in Brazil. Stay safe, stay well, and we shall see you next time. We will leave you with our outro video that will include our new crowned world champion, Luke Davies. Bye-bye. This program is brought to you by Simulus Clothing, official title sponsors of Formula Virtual Racing. But wait, there's more. Check out the official Formula Virtual Racing merchandise line out now exclusively to Simulus Clothing. Now sit back, relax, and enjoy the program.